Yo, Adrian, tonight we're going to be making a little bit of chili. I thought you might want to join me. Gonna make a little Purdue Tailgate Chili tonight, guys. Got all kinds of goodies here. Oh my goodness, look at all that mess that's got to go in there. Anyways, I'm gonna put you up here for now. I'll post the recipe in the comment section or somewhere around there. Okay, so we're going to get started here. All these goodies, had some leftover onion in the fridge I'm going to use. I'm going to use 2 pounds ground beef. Get that open, set that aside. And then, I'm going to be using this garlic here if I can get it going. Set my knife over here out of the way so I don't impale myself. Or you can use powdered garlic, whatever. Alright, I'm going to kind of rattle off, let me see here. I like a lot of garlic. Get that out of the way. Should have got the peeled ones, huh? It's a little easier. You don't want to eat those skins. That's the sweating. Okay, the chili that I'm making is Purdue Tailgate Chili. About the same recipe. I'm going to make it a little DLG friendly because I love my Purdue Tailgate Chili. Although we can't go out and really see any of the games, you know, we can still stay at home and enjoy the food. So I got about 4 or 5 pieces of garlic here. Cloves of garlic we're going to use. Kind of rough chop those. Hope you can see me, guys. Get that camera in the right spot. Okay, rough chop that. Now we're gonna rock chop and mince it up. Slide that to the side a little bit. Got a couple pieces of celery we're gonna put in there. Actually, I might end up getting one more piece of celery here. Got a leftover onion. Normally don't cut the tail off right now because you might be crying, but it's alright. Don't want any of those roots on my board. Now the recipe calls for a yellow onion, but I happen to have a little red onion left, so use what you've got on hand. About a large yellow onion is what the recipe calls for. Just want to get that outer skin off there. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. Slice that up good. And we're going to slice that. Be careful with your hand. You're going to slice downward a little bit. Baseball grip that. I don't worry about the middle of the onion. Some people don't like that. Actually, I don't mind it because it's sweet. And this is a red onion. I like using the red onion over the yellow ones anyways because they're sweeter. Should have got my other chopping board out here. It's a little bit bigger and I'm dealing with quite a lot of stuff here today. So it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be done. Okay. Get some of that, turn the stove on here, get some of that avocado oil. That's what we're going to be using today. So that avocado oil in there going. And I'm just going to get some of that garlic and onion in there first. Pop that baby up on high, get it rolling. Man, I'm getting a little mess over here today. Definitely needed my other chopping board. I'm telling you, I'm just a mess today. What happens when you're fasting, guys? Get you a little bit of something. Don't be cooking on a fast. Get the jitters and you're all over the place. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just looking for kind of a rough chop there. Wish I had my bread cutter. It's easier to scrape off here with the bread cutter. Okay. Let's get those onions rolling. Add a little more olive oil in there. A couple tablespoons, anywho. I like to sweat my onions and my garlic before I get into my I'm gonna have tears. Crying. I'm crying over here. I'm crying. Get rid of my mess. Okay, guys, we're gonna use about 2 pounds ground beef. There's the center of that thing. I'm finicky. I clean as I go. And we're gonna go ahead and peel our green bell pepper and our red bell pepper. Yeah, jittery today, man. Should ate something a little bit. Oh, your timer. Just gonna dice those up a little bit. Just getting them ready. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Oh yeah, looking good. Smelling good anyhow. Okay, there's a green pepper. We're going to do this a red bell pepper. Kind of same way, just cut it around and down. And avoid the seeds if we can. Top and the bottom of the peppers are kind of bitter anyway, so. Yeah, whatever way you want to do it. Okay, let's take a look at our onions and stuff here and see how that's doing, guys. Take a look in there. Oh goodness, let me see if I can get you off there. Ooh. Okay, so we're sweating the onions and the garlic. Looks pretty good. You guys can see in there. Once that's kind of a translucent color, then we're going to add our beef to it. Get you guys put back up there. Looking good. Finish up our red bell pepper. Okay guys, you know what I'm going to do? Take a break on that. I'm going to go ahead and add our ground beef, okay? Ground chuck, whatever you want. This is 80-20. Just make sure it's antibiotic free and hormone free. Free range is best if you can get it. Dang. Got my little trash bag. Where's my hand? It's soap and water. And I'm making messes. Got onion and garlic and everything else on the floor. That's the way it is in the kitchen. Give that a little stir. That beef's going to render a lot of fat off there. We're going to drain it, so I'm not worried about adding any more olive oil or anything at this point. It is 80-20. I opted for something with a little more fat to it. I'm going to turn that down to about 7 medium-high heat. Hope you guys can see from where you're at. Just trying to get that browned up good. Let's let that go for a second, okay? Love and laughter, happy ever after. Have some love and laughter in life, huh? My rug says, carpet. Okay. And we'll just look for a rough dice on that. Doesn't have to be perfect. A little rock chop if you want. Okay guys, the only other meat this calls for is like a sausage, a pound of bulk Italian sausage or whatever. And unfortunately, I don't know why, I usually do, I don't have that on hand, and I forgot to pick it up at the store. So you can go with a beef sausage if you want. It's kind of hard to find, but depends on where you're at. But I'm going to omit that for now. I'm going to taste it, see how it tastes, and make some adjustments on it. If I need to. I could probably go without it, actually. Definitely need my other chopping board. I grabbed this little thing. Now we're chopping up a couple celery stalks. Oh, it's going to be delicious, I tell you. I love the Purdue Tailgate Chili. You can Google it and find this recipe online. I'm modifying it a little bit because it is awfully spicy as you find it online. My wife used to work at Purdue, so she made this chili quite a lot. Okay, wow. It's going to be delicious. Delicious. Now the recipe generally calls for some bacon. I used to use the Wright brand bacon, but we don't. So I'm going to use a little turkey bacon, about a tablespoon of that or so, a couple, 2-3 strips anyhow. We'll see how that tastes in there. But my old go-to bacon was the Wright brand. It was very delicious. So we'll add that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and give our meat a stir and see where we're at. Browning up nicely. Smell that garlic and onion in there. So it calls for 2 pounds of the ground chuck. Let that brown up a little bit more. Smells good already. You know what? Like I said, I love garlic. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder in there too. Okay? Just a dash. Don't overpower it. And I'm going to use a dash of celery salt. I know that's not in the recipe either. Watch your salt content. Make it taste a little better. Okay, we got that browned up pretty nicely. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and drain that. Drain it, my little piggy. Let's get you a bowl you can set up there. Drain it in. More of a mess than anything, aren't I? My wife, when she's in here cooking, she doesn't make any mess. She's such a professional chef, she just doesn't drop nothing. Okay, we're going to drain off the fat. Straining it over here on the stove. Try and get about as much of that fat out of there as you can. Oh. Rock and rolling again. Okay, guys. First thing we do in a large stock pot is heat up that crumbled up ground beef. Get it nice and brown. Got your onion and garlic in there. Drain off your excess grease. Fire that baby up, get it going again. Now we're going to add in some chili beans. The original recipe calls for a couple cans of mild chili beans. You can get anything you want. I just got the Great Value brand. Sauce and all. Again, clean as you go. It's been a while since I made this. I'm going to use two 28-ounce cans of mild chili beans, whatever brand you like. I know the DLG has specific brand. I'm just using what I've got on hand tonight, which I think is okay. I've got some of these black beans left over from a recipe. No sugars in those. Total carbs 8%, 23 grams. So you got a little bit of carbs in this. They're healthy carbs. I'm going to go ahead and use up this can of black beans because it actually calls for a 28-ounce can of spicy beans. I'm going to empty off some of that juice out of there. I don't want that in there. But if you use the spicy beans, it's going to be too spicy. The original recipe calls for quite a lot of spice in here. So let's use up those black beans, whatever you got on hand, you know. Give that a little stir. Just mix it in lightly. Get those beans cooking. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? There you go. Okay, going to get those beans going. Oh, let's see what else we got here. Let's go ahead and add in some diced tomatoes next. Push this back out of the way a little bit. Use the old can opener today. Electric went on the fritz. I don't know what's wrong with it. So I am the can opener. All right, going to add that. I just used Hunt's tomatoes, diced tomatoes. That's about a pound or 28 ounces. Going to add the whole thing, juice and all. Yummy, yummy. Cooks so good. Okay. Mix that in a little bit. Man, I tell you, we're going to have a full pot over here. Gee whiz. I was thinking I might need my bigger stock pot for this, but I don't know. Maybe I can make this work. Okay, we got our tomatoes in there. And that delicious tomato juice going to render off there. I don't know, boy, I'm borderline on this thing. That's going to be stuffed to the hilt. Okay, so got our diced tomatoes. Let's go ahead and add a little tomato paste. I got the Hunt's tomato paste. You use a little 6-ounce can. Okay. Get that butter open. My goodness, these little cans are... Should open it from the side. Oh, it's going to fall on the floor. I don't like this little can opener. bouncing it around the counter. Pop that bad boy open. Careful of the lid. Suckers get sharp. You don't want any little fragments of metal anywhere. Okay, so we're going to add in our tomato paste with a small spoon. So we're going to add that in. Again, if you guys have arthritic problems, this probably isn't the best dish for you. You want to make sure your tomatoes are seedless and no skin on your tomatoes. Tomato paste ought to be okay. But tomato runs in the nightshade family, and the problem is the seeds and the skin. They contain an element that the tomato produces to protect itself against predators. And I can't remember what it's called right offhand, but that's what makes us sickly. Makes me hurt anyways for 2 or 3 days afterwards. I mean, I'm okay, but better off now than I was. Just stir that in there. It's looking like chili already. It'll be a thick one. Now it looks awfully thick, guys. I'm probably going to have to go get my stock pot. This is an awful lot in this little pot. I forgot how much it made. I'm going to pour a cup full of bouillon beef in there. It calls for a half can of beer, actually. And I don't drink beer. The alcohol will render off, and it's only 4 ounces. However, I don't want the extra carb and sugar, whatever's in the beer. Normally I use Miller Genuine Draft. You can use whatever your favorite beer is. Like I said, the alcohol is going to burn off, but I just don't need the extra carb and stuff. Okay, so we got that. Let's go ahead and add in some of our other ingredients and stuff here. We got a 1/4 cup chili powder, guys. Going to go ahead and put that in there. It's quite a bit, isn't it? We got some Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, that's pretty good. There's no sugars or anything in that. There is 60 milligrams of sodium, so depending on what brand you get, just take a look at your labels. So we're going to add in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Okay. Kind of stir that in a little bit there. Yeah, I'm most likely going to be putting this over into a bigger stock pot, so what I'm going to do is brown my bacon in the bottom of the stock pot, and I'm going to switch these out. Most likely, I don't know yet. Might brown it in a small skillet. Man, that's beautiful. Okay. Next thing is we're going to do a tablespoon of minced garlic. And that's already in there. So I got my garlic, I got my onion. I'm going to do a little oregano. Let's do a tablespoon of oregano. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of ground cumin. It's very flavorful. And I think it's a tablespoon, no, it's 2 teaspoons ground cumin and 2 teaspoons of, we're going to use hot pepper sauce. Valentina is my favorite. We'll put that in a minute. You got your basil, and that's 1 teaspoon of dried basil. Let's go ahead and add that in there. Give it a little stir. Lower my heat just a little bit.
pretty thick right now, but once I add in that water, and I'm going to add some water and beef bouillon to it. And I don't have the regular bouillon cubes. I have some beef bouillon broth seasoning powder. Okay. Use about whatever brand you want. Just check your label. Make sure you're good on sodium and extra. This isn't the best, but we've been out of the beef broth that I use. So beggars can't be choosers. I use what I got on hand, but you know, try and check your labels. Don't want any maltodextrose, anything with ose on it, because that's sugars, and don't want any of that bad sugar and stuff in your that you'll find in some of them. I do have a couple of these Weiler's bouillon cubes. I don't have my glasses on to really take a look at this. Calories, protein, vitamin C, blah, 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 blah. I could probably use a couple of these, but I just don't like the taste of the Weiler's bouillon cubes. Be honest with you. It's got 910 milligrams of sodium. Holy smokes, not for me. So sorry. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and add in some of these bell peppers. Celery. My goodness, this is going to be full to the hilt. I will be transferring over into a larger stock pot. I underestimated the volume of all these vegetables in here. That's okay. Okay. What else are we going to add in there? Give that a little stir before we do. I don't know, man. This is right to the rim. My goodness, smells wonderful. I love that color. Red and the green and brown. You got the black beans in there. Man, that's going to be delicious and nutritious. Okay, so where are we at? We got our basil in there. Now we're going to use a teaspoon of Celtic sea salt. Okay, Celtic, however you say it. A little bit of that in there. A little bit goes a long ways, guys. Before you add in your bouillon, I want you to taste that first. See where you're at with your salt content. You know, you don't want to overpower this. Like I said, the original recipe on this is calls for an awful lot of seasoning, and it's just too hot for me. So I use the mild beans, and I don't use a lot of the other peppers and stuff. I'm going to try and keep those seeds out of there because it calls for a pepper. This bad boy can make it hot, so. Been kind of a long day. It's going to be good. I'm ready to eat already. We're down to the advanced meal plan, so I'm really only doing like one meal a day. We did have a green drink today. Let's go ahead and add that in there. Get that a cooking. I don't care if I get a little turkey bacon in there. It's going to cook up anyways. Okay. Next thing we got is a little... It calls for a teaspoon of sugar, but I use the Swerve sugar replacement. I mean, probably could omit it, but let's go ahead and use a teaspoon of that. You could omit the sugars if you don't have any of that on hand. just use what you've got on hand. Try not to make a mess. Man, this sucker is full. Lower my fire a little bit more. Okay, and then we got a little bit of black ground pepper. I use a restaurant grind. About a teaspoon of that. And then a teaspoon of paprika. As you go. And let's not forget our hot sauce. Mamma mia, that's the best part of the whole recipe. I think it's a teaspoon of the hot sauce. 2 teaspoons of hot pepper sauce. I'm just going to use a teaspoon. See where we're at.
Remember me.
Got to remember my wife because she's a weakling now. She's from Bicol, Philippines, and they're known for their hot peppers. However, as she's gotten older, she doesn't eat the hot stuff anymore. I do now. When we were younger, I spent all my time eating that hot stuff with her. Now she can't eat it, and I do. I still eat it. I'm the only one in the family that can handle the hot stuff.
Caleb
Oh, my son Caleb loves hot
and
food.
Jess.
Yeah, Jasmine loves hot food. She puts pepper on everything. But Maria, Leslie doesn't really care for it. I tell you what, guys, this smells wonderful. I'm going to bring you in for a closer shot of this.
I love spicy, but now my stomach is...
Let's go ahead and get our bouillon cubes going here. I got some bouillon powder. Be careful of your bouillon, guys. Make sure you get a good quality bouillon without all that extra crap in it. Beggars can't be choosers today. I'm just trying to use up what I've got. This has got 1 gram of added sugar in it. I don't like that, but like I said, they're running short on my beef bouillon that I normally use.
The organic.
Yeah, I don't really like this one. Not a good brand, guys, but it's kind of hard to do. Find you a good brand. I'm not going to put too much in there. I think it calls for 2 tablespoons. Let me back up on my recipe.
That's what's available right now. So.
Calls for 4 cubes of beef bouillon, and what I'm going to do is use a couple tablespoons of this. I'm just going to use maybe a tablespoon and a half. You kind of have to eyeball it. And let's put a little hot water in there. 2 tablespoons of this, according to that, makes a whole cup. I've got enough liquid in here. I don't want to overload my pot. Let's mix that up and start with a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half, and see where we're at. Taste it. Okay, that's really, I think that's about it. Let me look over everything real quick. That's about it, guys. Stir that up just a little bit. I'm going to put it on real low and let that cook for an hour or so. Everything's brown. Just let everything incorporate, get those vegetables cooked up. I'm going to bring you over here. Take a look at this. Okay. Come on down. Get you off the mount. You guys can see that or not. There you go. That's Purdue Tailgate Chili, everybody. It's going to be delicious. I'm going to put that on simmer. Low simmer. Just not a rolling boil, just low simmer. And alright, guys. Hope you give it a try. Other than that, the only thing it calls for, toppings, you might want to use a little sour cream with it. You can use that. The other recipe calls for corn chips, but we know about corn chips. I'm not going to use that. But this is going to be a delicious chili for you. A lot of the ingredients are similar to what Dr. Livingood uses. And that's it, guys. So you can put a little cheese on top of that. You know, get you a good cheese that's DLG friendly. That's it, guys. I'm going to let that simmer down, and it's going to be delicious. Hope you guys enjoy it. You don't see my mess back there. We got a lot of crap in the back to put up. Okay, see you guys.